Hi students, so this is lesson 10 and I'm going to focus on tenses. So for this lesson, I want you to remember that when you sit with me, I might give you, for instance, a sentence and I might ask you, take this sentence, something like this, and put it for me, or take it from the present tense into the past tense. Or take it for me from the present tense to the future tense. Now for today, I'm only going to focus on the past tense, taking something from the present tense to the past tense. Good. So when you start with Afrikaans, I think there's some basic rules that you need to remember about sentences and sentence structure. The first thing that you need to know is that you have certain words that will always be, I almost want to say, in a time zone of their own. So if you watch television or movies, you might know that people have spoken about time travel. In this case, we are not time traveling when we're in the present tense. But if we want to go back in time, like to this side, we're in a different dimension. Some words, therefore, will be a certain thing here, but when they go back in time, they change. And it also works the same for when you go to the future. That word changes. So just bear that in mind as I explain. So let's look at some specific words that perhaps you'll understand a little bit better after I've explained it. Let's see, when we speak about the present tense here, we use the word vandag because vandag means today. Now, vandag is a very special word because it's blue, and blue words, in my case here today, can travel through time. The problem is just when you're traveling through time, they become like little chameleons. They can't go through the time here because once they touch it there, they change into another word. If they go back in time, vandag changes into gister. And the same with if you throw vandag and you say vandag, I want you to go into the future. Once it touches the border with tomorrow, it becomes môre. Right, so remember that these words will always change, and all you need to remember is present tense uses the word vandag, past tense uses the word gister, and then future tense uses the word môre. Okay, and then you have other funny words that you don't have to add anything to them, they just change. And you might, for instance, know that there are words like the boy is 10. So that would be this word, is. In Afrikaans, we just pronounce it differently, is. Die seun is 10. There's is. So if you take is almost like vandag because once it touches there, is becomes was. All right. So the past tense of is was. And if I take is and I want to throw it to the future, is becomes sal. So if you remember that, then you'll see that it will be very easy for you to do these sentences. All right, so I'll look at some sentence construction just now with was and is and sal, but let's just quickly for today focus on a normal sentence that you find in Afrikaans. Now, I'm sure that when you were at school, your teacher also taught you about subjects and verbs and things like that. So let's have a look at this sentence, and I'm going to just analyze it a little bit. When I say here, ek sit vandag buite, if I translate it directly into English, it's I sit today outside. It's because today will always be after the verb. All right. So if you just remember that sit will always, that vandag, that our time traveling word attaches itself always to the first verb in the sentence, then you'll be fine. So let's have a look. So here we have ek, which is our subject. We have sit, which is our verb. We have vandag, which is our time traveling word. and we have buite, which in this case will be our object in the sentence. So SVTO will always be the sentence construction that you will find in present tense. SVTO. If T is not there, you can still say the sentence because you can always remove the T. Ek sit buite. So you're not saying when, but you're just saying ek sit buite. You can even remove buite and still just say ek sit. Can you see that?